Today I'm sitting down with a true lifer in the music game, Justin Sayne. From hustling flyers on the Sunset Strip in the 80s to sharing stages with Poison, LA Guns, Dokken, and Pretty Boy Floyd, to now launching a brand new project, Cruella de Vil. Justin has seen and lived it all. He's not just a player, he's a survivor, a promoter, and a storyteller who has literally in the trenches of rock and roll history. And did I mention he's the nephew of Larry and Althea Flynt? So he grew up with a backstage pass to chaos, culture, and controversy. Buckle up because this one's going to go deep.
Dude, I got fucking chills, dude. That's fucking hardcore.
Yes. And man, here's the deal, dude. This is putting together these pieces of the puzzle of the Sunset Strip. And I know
Yep.
you can give us some perspectives that we don't have, that I wasn't privy to and nobody else has told on this channel. But man, I want you to get right into hustling flyers on the Sunset Strip. That sounds like you're getting your start down there. Tell me about it.
Yep. So you want me to go back or want me to go way back?
Whatever you want to, wherever you want to
Okay.
go. Take us to the good stuff.
All right, cool. Sounds good. I'm going to take you way back because it tells the story of how I basically got here. So I was born in Columbus, Ohio. When I was 5, my mom and dad decided to move me to a much smaller town about 45 minutes away. So on the weekends, occasionally my mom and she would drive me down to my aunt and uncle's and cousin's house. They lived in the southern part of Columbus. Um, it was at that time where my cousin Joby, and I must say, rest his soul because he passed away Tuesday. Um, so when I was about 5, 6 years old, he planted the seeds. He showed me Kiss's first record, Dressed to Kill, Rock and Roll Over, and I was hooked. He had the massive stereo. He had the 1,000 watt receiver. He had the record player, the big ass speakers, like 12 inch. I mean, it was massive. So he decided to put on one of these Kiss records. He cranked the shit out of it, and I was scared, but I was also I was laughing my ass off because I'm looking at this, listening to it. Okay, this makes sense, and I couldn't get enough, and I was hooked just like that. Um, it progressed to Ted Nugent, progressed to the Bon Scott era, AC/DC, same fucking deal. He would crank the shit out of it. And the funniest thing, his mom, my aunt, he would turn it down. All of a sudden, he hears, "God damn it, Joby, turn that shit down." It was like she was mad, but Joby and I would just look at each other like, "Dude, this is fucking it." And I got my first beer from him, and I was like 6 or 7. Um, Hustler magazine had then come out, and he's like, "Hey, take a look at what Uncle Larry and Althea are doing." And I'm looking at this, and he loved to tell the story. I got to tell the story, so I took one of the issues, took it in the bathroom, and he goes up to the door, and he's like trying to listen to what I'm doing. All of a sudden, I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, I'm counting the tits.
Yeah.
And he's like, after I get to like 12 or something, like he knocks on the door and he's like, "Justin, get your ass back here." Basically, before his mom and my mom get wind of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I gave him my first beer, first Hustler magazine. Turns out the first girl that I actually saw naked in front of me was one of his girlfriends I walked in on. Yeah. Um, so in 1978, Larry and Althea and another aunt and uncle moved from Columbus, Ohio to Los Angeles because the Hustler magazine really was not being treated well, in Ohio. It's a very conservative state, and they just weren't having it. So they moved out there. So in about 1980, Larry and Althea would fly my mom and I out there basically whenever I wasn't in school. And can you imagine being 10, 11 years old, flying into from a town that held maybe 20,000 people to Los Angeles, California? Flying to LAX, you get a limo to pick you up, drive you to a freaking mansion, and all of a sudden you have like 8 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, um, a basement that has like a gambling table, a poker table, a bar, massive entertainment system, just everything you imagine the Hustler Mansion being, without the chaos, because it basically just wasn't allowed when I was there. Um, they would house all sorts of counterculture people like Peter Fonda, Dennis Hopper, fucking Frank Zappa, all sorts of like just really creative, out of the box people. And Sonny and Cher used to live there. Um, there was a guy that they bought the house from. I can't remember his name, but it's like so many iconic characters were in this house, and all of a sudden I'm sitting here walking through the house. I'm like, Sonny and Cher used to live here, and like, yeah, Sonny lived on this part of the house, and Cher lived on that part of the house when they were separated. It's just crazy stories that you would hear.
Wow.
Um, so in 1981, Althea had seen me play air guitar far too many times. She's like, I got to do something about this. Summer of 1981, I go out there, get in, again, LAX 405 in the Bel Air, get to the house, and says, Justin, I have something for you in the blue bedroom. All the rooms were like color themed. So I go in the blue bedroom. All of a sudden, there's 5 guitars, this footlocker, just packed full of like punk and like new wave and like metal clothes, like t-shirts that were ripped. They had like spikes coming out of the sleeves, and a small crate practice amp that
Wow.
was literally and if you remember this, I'm sure you do. It was like literally
Like a
like a
crate.
small crate.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm like, oh, this is for me. She's like, yeah.
Wow.
She's like, I don't know if you're gonna get any good at this, but you're gonna love it. And I've just seen you. I've seen you play air guitar to Kiss and Tej, and far too many times for me not to step in and say, whether you make it or not, I think you're going to do this for the rest of your life.
Wow.
And I'm like, all right. But she said, but the thing was, she's like, for you to take this back to Ohio, you have to earn it. And to earn it, basically, she meant you have to get good enough to take it back, to know that you're going to stick with this.
Yeah.
It took me a while because, figure 1981, 1982, who didn't want to be Eddie Van Halen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, guess what? There's only one Eddie Van
Yeah.
Halen.
Yeah.
And I was like, I loved him, but I was not going to be that guy. So I found my thing. And I got good enough where I could, take it back to Ohio and practice. And I eventually started like a small band with a couple of my friends that lived in his neighborhood. One guy played bass. Um, one of my friends played drums. So we had something we can just fuck around with. And yeah, I took it and ran with it. And shortly after, that's when Althea got sick.
Man. I
And
know I know this is a tough time for you right now because of the
it is,
loss of and I man, I commend you for even doing this with the loss in your family and then bringing back these memories. But you know what?
yeah,
This is perhaps a tribute to both Althea and your cousin,
yeah,
because
yeah.
without them, we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
No, I would be probably an engineer, or to be honest, I don't even want to think about it,
Yeah.
because I've lived. Yeah, I never became the rock star that was, maybe supposed to happen, to me. But I've seen so many things. I've done so many things. I've witnessed all this stuff that nobody else got to see except for my family. And I'm truly blessed.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking lucky to have gotten to see all this stuff. And it's just, this could have happened to anybody else. Larry could have hired another dancer instead of Althea, and it could have been somebody else in
Yeah.
my shoes. But it
Yeah.
happened to me.
Yeah.
And damn, dude, I saw so much fucking cool shit. Unfortunately, when Althea passed, June 27th, 1987, that's basically the day that I started my music career. That
Yeah.
was the day. And it
It's
sucks that, my cousin Joby passed away this Tuesday, because like the two people that are instrumental in this
yeah.
are now gone.
Yeah.
So
Man, and you know, there's something about this channel, and I think why a lot of people relate to it is because, look, man, in all reality, there's what a couple handfuls of guys that you could say were, you know, made it to the top of the heap,
Yeah.
and even a lot of them, they're having to go out now, maybe a few weeks past their sell by date
You think? You
and
think?
and go maybe just a couple weeks
Yeah,
and
yeah,
try to sell that sour cream
yeah,
and you
yeah,
know, so I don't know that there really is making it, but
yeah,
making it is getting to experience these things. And dude, I can't imagine being that age and flying in and ending up in a mansion in Bel Air.
yeah. It's a complete mind fuck. I mean, it's a wonder that I didn't have this, ego that's out of control. It's just, I don't know. I just probably because I had because my dad was shot and killed when I was 12. They helped my friends that I grew up with helped keep me grounded. Um, and probably being going to school in such a small town, that probably helped keep me grounded. It didn't I didn't have like I did have my head in the clouds, and it just they kept me just level headed and just as normal as I could. Of course, when I get back to Ohio, I was like, dude, tell us all about California. What's it all about? And I was like, dude, I can't
Yeah.
begin to tell you what it's like. But then like, hey, we got a wiffle ball game, down at so and so's house. You want to play? I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So it was very normal here in
Yeah.
Ohio, as normal as it can be.
And you got a taste of both worlds, and
Yeah,
you were able
yeah,
to adjust. But you know, getting back to Althea, I mean, she was a champion of rock and roll and
she was.
music
Yep,
and all of that stuff, right? I mean, for her to
yep,
see that you had this interest in it and to go out of her way to really, you know, nurture that, man. And didn't she have
yep.
something to do with starting like Rip magazine and stuff like that?
She had everything to do with it. I think it was around, I can't remember what year it was, like around 83, 84. She started a magazine called Rave. And it was supposed to like focus on the subculture of like punk rock in Southern California. But if you think about what punk rock was in Southern California, it was kind of like dying out. There really wasn't a whole lot going on. In 1984, Larry decided to run for president. So basically,
I
that was
remember
fucking
that.
great. That was fucking nuts. So basically, all the money that would have been used to fund Rage, went to the public, went to the public presidential race, which, publicity stunt or not, it was bizarre. Just
Yeah.
yeah, just one of many moments where like, we're Larry, what are you doing? And we said that to him a lot, but he was like, yeah, I'm just, it's just whatever. Um, so that was shelved. And then about a year later, she's like, I want to start like a magazine that focuses on just like, rock and metal. Cause she was a huge Motley Crue fan. She remembers hanging out with them when they were a club band, just, ragamuffins, hanging out the Sunset Strip. She loved Wasp. One of her favorite bands, called The Cramps, which I'm sure you remember. She would go see them at the fucking country club in Reseda. She would also, she was just so much into that. And she's like, I want to start a magazine that focuses on that. And it took a while to kind of get its thing. Um, Again, after she passed, they were going to close it down. That's when Lon Friend came in and said, I can make this into something because I have all these contacts. Let me run this. And the people at LFP was like, all right, hot shot. Let's see what you got.
Yeah.
And thank you, Lon Friend, for making basically Althea's dream of a rock magazine come true, because it wasn't metal edge. It wasn't like a paparazzi filled. It wasn't like bubblegum metal. It wasn't Kerrang. It wasn't like, it was just its own little thing. And because of Lon's connections with the bands, he got fucking burrowed deep inside these fucking bands. He got access to like recording sessions and stuff so deep that nobody else had access to. And to me, Rip Magazine became the fucking coolest, the heaviest magazine around, and I fucking loved it. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. And I remember going to the Rip magazine party.
Yes.
I did an
Yes.
episode on it, and it was sort of like grunge invades Hollywood. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Alice in Chains and Soundgarden, and I think Thunder opened, and Spinal Tap was on the bill.
Makes sense. Yeah.
We got a call. We had gotten a call at the band house, and they said, "Hey, you guys want free tickets to the Rip party?" And they're
Yeah.
like, "Who's playing Spinal Tap?" "Oh, I'm there. I'm there."
Yeah.
I didn't know who Alice in Chains was, or Soundgarden, or Thunder, or whatever, but I said Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go to that.
Yeah. Yeah, just like, I mean, it was like when Jimmy Iovine started like Interscope Records. The first artist they signed was Gerardo, and so many artists wanted to get into Interscope because they thought it was cool to be on the same label as Gerardo. It just got the ball rolling.
Yeah.
It just yeah. Those Rip parties, I heard about them. I never went to them, but I heard a lot about them, and they were just fucking just insane, crazy.
Yeah. So now a transition from this to your experience on the Sunset Strip. Take me to this point now.
Okay. So the first trip that really, other than the 1981 trip, the first trip that really got this rolling was 1984. Got in, and we were just hanging out at the house doing whatever. And my cousin Teresa, who actually lives in Florida, um, she's like, "We're going to go down Sunset," and I'm like, "We're going to see all these bands that I like." Motley Crue, Rat had just, and when I use this term, had left. What I mean that is that they were signed and they were now on tour. So Motley had left, Rat had left, Wasp was on the way, Quiet Riot had left. It's like all these fucking bands that I loved. This is where they came from. I'm gonna see like where like I'm gonna
Yeah.
see like the streets that they used to walk around, all these clubs that they used to play. I'm like, let's fucking do this. So from Bel Air, driving, you're going. All of a sudden, you make that turn. It's a right hand turn, and it kind of goes down the hill just a little bit, and all of a sudden, it gets really fucking bright and really fucking colorful. And that's where you saw like Gazzarri's was on the left, the Rainbow was on the left, um, the Roxy was on the left. All of a sudden, the Whiskey's on the left, uh, the
Central.
Central was on the right. Yeah, all these places, like holy shit, like damn, and all of a sudden, again, hair was sticking on the back of my arms and on the back of my neck, and we're just we all of a sudden, with the fake ID. I'll tell you where I got that. We go to a few of these clubs and just kind of just see the mass of humanity, the chaos, the beautiful moment.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
you don't get this in Marysville, Ohio, do you?
No.
No. And it was all happening there. Just, I mean, you knew you were out there, the clubs were packed. So the sidewalks are packed. Yeah, the sidewalks are packed. So the streets are packed. You have to dodge people to get from one club to another. It was the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen, aside from my daughter being born.
Yeah.
It was just like, rock and roll hell,
Yeah.
just right there, and it was beautiful. So that was my first trip, and again, like I said, we just went, just club hopping. Couldn't tell you who I saw, couldn't tell you where I went, other than my mind was just being like flooded with all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that was my first trip in Hollywood, 1984.
Wow. And
14,
that's
14,
that
14 years old, man.
and that's the peak. That might have been the peak, really, you know?
If you ask me, so that the next trip after that I definitely remember, and sadly, this was the about a month after Althea had passed. So we go out there. My mom and I go out there basically just to help Larry, because a year later they had sold the Bel Air house, knowing Althea was sick and she was going to pass. Moved into a much smaller house, in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
Gee, what a bummer, right?
Yeah.
So so my mom and I stayed with them just just for a little, just to make sure he was cool and make sure
Yeah.
he wasn't lonely and just make sure he was cool. So August 14th, 1987, and I have the flyer in a frame here. To me, this was the peak, even though some people would say it wasn't. But at this point, you had like Faster Pussycat was now gone, LA Guns were now gone, Guns N' Roses were now gone. So it's like, who's next? And my cousin Teresa was like, "Hey, we're going to go to the Roxy. We're going to go see my friend Kevin, who I'm going to high school with. He was playing in a band called Shell Shock." And I was like, "Cool. Who are they playing with?" This band called Odin. So we go to the Roxy and we check out some other, some like smaller bands. And all of a sudden, Teresa's friends, Kevin's bands comes out, and they're very much like a LA version of like AC/DC, kind of
Okay.
just really just he played an SG Marshalls,
Uh,
just very blues raw,
yeah.
kicked my ass. It's
Yeah.
fucking phenomenal. And but then she tells me, she's like, before Odin comes on, she's like, "Hey, after Odin, we're gonna go to Kevin's house for to just party, hang out." Odin comes on, and it was pretty much everything that you remember from the Decline of Western Civilization. Randy O with the fucking assless chaps. They have like the window blinds over the amps with the flowers are coming out. I mean, it was
Yeah.
it was the set
Yeah.
from Decline of Western. So it was everything was there. They kicked so much fucking ass. I'm like, how is this fucking this is the next fucking band? The place was fucking packed. I mean, it was magical. Um, so after Odin, we go to Kevin's house. This was I had just turned 17. Go to my first Hollywood after show party, and I was so like kind of shy. And I remember just all these adults, right? I mean, because literally they're only like a year or two older
Yeah.
than me. All these adults are hanging out, drinking beer, fucking doing whatever. I'm like, I just basically sit in this hole in this corner, and the stereo was right next to me. They put on AC/DC Highway to Hell. I'm like, this is like the perfect fucking album for
For
this
a
night.
party. Yeah.
But yeah, puts it on. Kevin comes up to me in this long blonde hair, just looking all fucking bitching. And I'm like, the only thing I could say is like, guys are huge AC/DC fans, right? And he's like, hell yeah, we are. Dude, that was the coolest fucking thing that he could have. It was very simple, but it was just fucking
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, 17 years old, my first Hollywood after show party. So basically that week, we're just going down to Sunset, and you see all these adults passing out flyers. And I literally went back to Larry's house with a stack of flyers this thick.
Wow.
Just, I mean, dude,
Yeah.
these bands
Yeah.
are hustling. They're
Yeah.
working. They're like, hey man, my band's band's playing at the Whiskey in a couple of nights. You should check us out. Hey, my band's playing at the Sugar, or a couple of nights. You should check us out. All this stuff that you
Yeah.
lived
Yeah.
and I got to see as a 17-year-old. That's where I learned the hustle.
Yeah.
That's where I learned to be an extrovert, to communicate, to connect. That's where I learned it. That's better than any fucking college that anybody can ever go to.
Yeah.
Spend a weekend on Sunset Strip in the 1980s. You learn everything. Why you used to learn so many life skills.
Yeah.
It sounds funny, but you learn so many life skills in just a couple of nights out there. It
Yeah.
was,
Salesmanship is one of them.
yep,
Being
yep,
able to approach,
yep.
the all the stuff that now you've got those pickup artist guys. There's some of them that
Yeah,
they're pickup artist
yep,
type stuff. A lot of the stuff
yep,
that I see that they kind of teach people how to do were things that we kind of taught each other to do in the
yep,
same realm. Like
yep,
we would do things like we might have been arguing before we got down there over some song or not wanting to play some show or whatever. But
yep,
as soon as we got down to the strip, we put our arms around each other. Oh, we're the greatest friends in the world. And
yeah,
now we're, putting on a performance just handing out flyers.
yeah. And I remember, before Althea had passed, we go back to the house, and I'd have again, I had a stack of flyers this thick, and Althea be like, say, how was it? And I'm like, look at all these stuff that I have. And she'd kind of thumb through them like, yeah, it's what it's I was like, all these bands look fucking cool. I'm like, yeah, it's what it's like.
Yeah.
And like a lot of these, a lot of the flyers had like tickets to the Troubadour like stapled to them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm going back to Ohio in a couple of days. I can't go to the show. What do I do with this? What do I do with these things? So I would just put them in the fucking suitcase and take them back. Um, and you show all my friends like these, this is the next biggest band. This is the next Motley Crue or whatever. And they were just, hey, we got a wiffle ball game down here. Okay, bringing me back down to reality.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just I mean, it was just the greatest fucking thing. And yeah, you learn so much. And so when I graduated high school in '89, I had a huge decision to make. Do I take my talents to Los Angeles, risk it all, not really knowing anybody except for my cousin Teresa? She was living out there. Um, my mom talked me out of it because I think she saw the my our family's history with our vices and addiction, and we're so like open to it.
Yeah.
She didn't want me to get out there and have the same shit happen to me.
Yeah.
And she's like, I love you. I believe in your talent. Please do me a favor. Start in Columbus, work your way up until you get a certain level. And then if you get to a certain level, then I completely understand if you have to go out there. But please start in Columbus, start small.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. And looking back, it probably saved my life.
Yeah.
Um, I was never an addict. The only bad thing I did was, again, this, during shows, you have, people that fucking throwing shots at you and, hey man, you want to do this?
Yeah.
No, because seeing Althea waste away to under 80 pounds scared the ever living shit out of me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not the way you do it. That's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
Um, again, huge life lessons out in California that I just learn what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, here in Columbus, I just started bands with putting ads in music stores and putting ads in newspapers. Loud, rude, aggressive guitar player available. No bullshit. Same thing with Mick did. Like that worked for Mick. He found Motley Crue. Might work for me. So
Yeah.
just worked in different bands, different levels of success. But yeah, the one constant was I hustled. I was approachable. I was outgoing. I was an extrovert, and I wanted to. It wasn't just about music. I actually wanted to connect with people. I love people, and to me, that was like the biggest thing. Is like, how can I connect people on a music level? I love talking music. I'm a fan first, and I'm the first. If a band wants to send me a song, hey, check this out. Like, absolutely, I will. I'm going to give you an honest opinion. Just bear down. But yeah, I love talking to music, man. I love it. It's my fucking life. I love it so much.
Yeah, man. And
So,
and you've had such a unique experience with all of this and the lessons learned and man, this stuff that you talk about as far as, learning how to promote, learning how these bands did it and becoming an extrovert. I think, I for a lot of people that's a hard thing for them to do.
mhm,
They
yeah, Uh,
not every band had four extroverts that would hand out flyers. Most bands, you'd be lucky if you had two guys that were good at it.
yep.
And
And
the
I'll tell you exactly why. Not everybody likes to hear the word no. And in the music business, you better have your thick ass skin on because you're going to hear no 99 times in a row before you hear one yes.
yeah,
Can you take that hearing no that 99 times? Because usually after you hear no one or two times, I'm done.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
done. I'm gonna go be a fucking engineer or whatever. I'm gonna go be a plumber or whatever. Um, they give up.
yeah. It's the
I'm the
same
guy.
thing with dating. I with
Uh,
the with the promoting well, it is because
yeah. Yeah.
ultimately, when we would hand out flyers, we knew that our audience needed to be 80% girls,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so we were, and that's the large part of like who would buy the tickets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we would approach every group of girls on the strip with our pitch or a song, or I mean, we'd literally be singing on the street, whatever it took.
Yeah. Yep.
And it would be like, dude, group of girls, go. And you realize quick if they give you a negative vibe immediately, it's probably this is probably a no, and you just be cool about it and move on. But
Yeah.
you do get to a point, and I did get to a point later in life where I didn't want to approach girls anymore because I just was tired of hearing no. I knew that I knew that probably 50%, 60% of the time it's maybe a no, right? And it's like the work. That is a lot of work having to put yourself out there. And here's the thing, a lot of times you're approaching people that you wouldn't even consider dating even if you know what I'm saying? Like I'm approaching
Yep.
this girl who I would never date in a million years, and because you're a product, because you're a guy in a band, and maybe they like the super glammed out bands and your band's not super glammed out, that they're just looking at you with a no on their face, and you go, I can't believe I'm being rejected by a three. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
then that can be
Yep.
a tough thing, but you can't let it bother you. You have to just
Nope.
go, hey, look, man, because here's the deal. Girls make up their mind within the first 5 to 10 seconds whether you have a shot or not. And you can read that on their face and then go, okay, hey, this chick's digging me. Okay, cool. Or
Yeah.
man, I can tell a look on this face. She's not buying it, and you just cut you quit wasting your time. But those
Yep.
are things,
Yep.
dude. The pickup artist guys now are making thousands of dollars teaching people how to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all in the eyes. I mean, such a long time ago. Yeah, it's all in the eyes. It's all in the body language, and yeah, within just a couple seconds.
A couple
But
seconds.
yeah, but yeah, as a musician, our job is to have that. I guess call it like an elevator pitch. It's like you have 15 seconds, and 10 of them are
Yeah.
already up. So you better be hey, I'm gonna whatever band we're kind of like this. You should come check us out. Here's a free ticket or whatever. And again, you're going to hear, no 99 times out of 100, but you have to keep getting those ones
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
but I'm the guy that was in every band that I didn't, a lot of, again, a lot of musicians hate to hear the word no. So they hate to deal with the club owners. They hate to deal with the talent buyers. I'm the one actually, I love to call the I guess the pains in the ass that we're just it's like if you get all the guys in the band like nope, I'm not calling that fucking guy's a fucking asshole. I was the guy that fucking did it. I'm like, dude, I don't give because I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It was like I had that blankness, I guess. That I'm they have a job to do. I have a job to do. What can I what can I offer them that's going to benefit them and me? Like, hey, I'm in, this band. We're kind of like a blues rock and roll band. We're gonna bring people that are gonna buy, alcohol and beer, to you're believe me, you're gonna make money even if we don't. Let's work together. I
Yeah.
was that guy that, would call the fucking talent buyers and, club owners, on a daily fucking basis. Hey, this is Justin from, whatever band I was in at the time. It's like, hey, you got fucking Lillian Axe, coming in a couple months. We want that gig. What's it gonna take? Oh, we got, give me a call in a couple of days. 2 days later, hey, this is Justin from, X band. I loved that hustle. I loved that fucking grind. And
Yeah.
it's probably again, learning it from Sunset Strip, but also, Ohio is kind of like a blue collar state. So I probably learned, from there too. But yeah,
Yeah.
just you work it.
So
You
this is
work
a
it.
great lesson for everybody watching, that basically you got to just,
Thank you.
you're going to hear no.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna, not look, and even more so when you're doing what you're doing, calling club owners or talent buyers or
Mm-hmm.
record labels, you're gonna hear no 99.9% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Yep.
can't let that no bother you, because if you let it bother you every time you hear no, it's like it's just business. But so this
Yep.
is how you were able to get, hey, Lillian Axe is playing or Pretty Boy
Mm-hmm.
Floyd is playing, and you were
Yep.
able to get your local band on those bills because you were a relentless hustler.
Yep. Yep. Learned from Larry and Althea and the kids, basically the Hollywood, what I call them, the Hollywood kids. Yeah, that's how I learned it. And yeah, I was fortunate enough. I've played with, so many of my favorite bands. I haven't opened for Motley Crue yet, but we're working on that. But yeah, I've gotten to, open for so many bands that I grew up loving, and I've gotten to meet them, and it's just been really, again, it's just been a fucking whirlwind, and I'm so lucky and blessed. But I also for the music part, I work my fucking ass off.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's a lot of work, man. And it's, here's the thing, people think they just practice in their room and they get amazing, and then the world just lays the golden chalice at your feet. That's not really
No.
anything to do with it, especially in the hustle world of rock and roll.
Yeah. What I learned early on is, I loved Fear. I loved the Sex Pistols, the Ramones. I mean, they were basically, three chords, and we're gonna kick your ass. And that was it. But you had like the Yngwie Malmsteens, like the Paul Gilberts. You had the Eddie Van Halens. You had, I mean, this guy from, this virtuoso on down. And I even had those guys locally, where you had like, so and so was like the local,
Yeah.
that fucking dude. And I'm like, that guy's never gonna make it, and I'm gonna tell you why, because he don't have the fucking songs.
Yeah.
So that taught me early on. It's like, don't worry about this shit. Work on your songwriting. Work on that craft, because that's going to get you in the door a lot faster than.
Yeah.
You know what this is going to do? It's going to get you on like a Metal Method instructional video. That's what it's going to. That doing that shit. If yeah,
Starlicks.
yeah, if that's your goal, wow, that takes me back.
REH video.
Yeah. So if that's your goal, is to get the Metal Method video of Starlix, cool. Have at it. Best of luck to you.
Yeah.
But if you want to become a fucking rock star and headline the fucking forum, work on your fucking songs. Work on that craft, and just record, write. Just listen back. What can I do better? And it's all about finding something that connects to people. It's I've heard so many really cool songs, but for some reason they just don't connect with people. That's probably why I like so many, like the B-sides and like the really obscure tracks and shit, and maybe even some of the tracks that were left off of the albums, just because those, like, some of those are my favorites. But I've kind of learned, like, you need to work on getting like a melody line, work on getting something that, like a guitar solo that somebody can hum along with. That's what I've been doing like recently in the last like 5 years, is basically working on songs where, and having like a production level that is basically taken from here, and keep getting better, keep getting better, keep getting better, keep getting better. Again, that's it's practice, it's repetition, it's becoming self-aware. What can I do better to become a better songwriter? Not how many fucking notes I can squeeze into a fucking bar.
Yeah.
That's not where it's at, brother. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I love guitar players that can do that. I love the Yngwie Malmsteen's a rock god for me, but I mean, do I want to be that? No.
Yeah. I
I
don't
want to be Nikki Sixx.
necessarily want to listen to I Am a Viking. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
amusing. It's
yeah,
amusing when I am a Viking, with the wide vibrato and all that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not something that I'm going to start my day with.
No, 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 no. I mean, just girl, just dude, just give me fucking AC/DC Highway to Hell. If you want blood, you've got it. Just something very girls, 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 Wild Side. Just keep it fucking simple. Just and
Yeah,
those are the songs that fucking connect with people.
yeah,
Those are the classic fucking songs. Do you think Magnum Opus 5,
yeah.
from Igby Malmsteen's 12th album has ever gotten the radio?
Mhm.
No.
No, no.
But you hear like the really just the fucking rocking shit. You
Why
hear that
do
on the
you
radio all the time.
why do you think that some of the younger bands out today, and a lot of them take a formula, whether it's AC/DC or Led Zeppelin or whatever, but they're never able to match. It's like a band could go, we're going to take take a classic band like Crocus.
Okay.
Uh, Crocus went through a period where they were like, we're going to hone in on the AC/DC thing, right? Like
Hmm.
like they really tried to like kind of make that their thing, but it didn't it never, maybe because the songs again, they didn't have Back in Black, they didn't
Yep.
have You Shook Me All Night Long, they
Yep.
didn't have the same level of songwriting, and it wouldn't you wouldn't think, like analyzing it, that Back in Black, or I mean, Back in Black's got some pretty cool riffs and stuff. That's a little more, that's what maybe like prog rock for AC/DC, right? Because
Yeah.
it's a little more involved than just ADG, or
Yeah.
G.
Or maybe like a song. Yeah, like a song like Flick of the Switch.
Yeah,
Da, 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 da. That to them is like fuck. That's like the Rush of AC/DC.
yeah. That's like the pinnacle of it. But they kept it simple. Why can't somebody duplicate any of these bands? And people have tried to cop the Motley Crue thing with the face paint, and they've and even guys back in the day, Pretty Boy Floyd or whatever, they
Hmm.
had one or two songs that people kind of know them for, but they were never able to match the songwriting of Motley Crue or somebody like that. It just it's you wonder about that. Like,
Yeah.
why couldn't they maybe write better songs? But there was a lot of distractions back in those days.
Yeah, they were. I mean, you had like, just so many things, either addiction or, whatever, kind of basically pulling you away from this.
Yeah.
I think it's just more of like a gift because like if you look at Jimmy Page, I mean, it just, that guy is just, I mean, if you listen to his solos, some of them are actually kind of sloppy,
Right, yeah.
but but if you also listen to more like, like like going to California, like more of the folk stuff, I mean, it's like, it's so like imperfectly perfect. And again, it's about just it's a gift. It's just you're able to come up with music ideas that connect with people. Like a band like like you mentioned Crocus. I'm sure they're really good musicians, but they just never had, aside from that one Screaming in the Night,
Yeah.
I think. Aside from that, I
Eat
mean
the Rich. Eat the Rich was pretty good.
yeah. I mean, other than that, I mean, they didn't really have any songs that
Yeah.
that
Long Stick Goes Boom. Remember that
don't
one?
know it.
Oh, you
No.
don't know that one?
No, I
Dude.
was that's probably the point you're making is I was never like a huge Crocus fan. They never spoke to me.
Yeah.
Because I liked more like the dirty, the heavy stuff.
Yeah.
The Motley, the Wasp, bands that had basically like a fucking edge to
Yeah.
them, an axe to
Yeah.
grind, something that they were, I wouldn't say bitter, but they just had like an edge to them.
Yeah.
And there's certain bands that had it, Motley, Wasp, Twisted Sister. They just had something that was just so like abrasive.
Yeah.
going on inside, and it came out in their art. But then you had like bands like Krokus in Europe, and like a Bon Jovi, where there was absolutely no fucking edge to them,
Yeah.
none. Now on Bon Jovi's, they had such commercial hits that they just they did what they did.
Yeah.
But I am definitely not a Bon Jovi fan at
Yeah.
all
I'm not
because they
really
just
either.
they didn't have a fucking edge to them.
Yeah.
I mean, they looked okay, I guess. Chicks dug them,
Yeah.
but I do not have one single Bon Jovi album. They were one of the first arena bands that I actually saw in 80, was it 85, when Bon Jovi was big. They opened up for Rat
Wow.
on the Invasion tour. That
How
was my
did that
second
go?
arena.
How did that go over?
I was a huge Rat fan, like huge Rat fan. Um, to me, I mean, Bon Jovi, I mean, they were good, and it was more like raw, because that 7,800 degrees Fahrenheit, that album was more like kind of angsty. I kind of dug it. It wasn't like what we call slick and produced. It
Yeah.
wasn't it wasn't that. It was just more like raw. Um, but it's when they got to the next album, they got all commercial, and they lost me.
Yeah.
Um, but I loved Rat on Tour. My first arena show, 1984, I saw Motley open for Ozzy.
Wow.
Um, amazing, amazing. I mean, that was when Motley brought the apocalyptic set. It had like a lot of fake rock. It was just very dark, and they had the
Yeah.
spikes coming out, around the amps, and it was just, they were basically playing like on the edge of a cliff after an apocalypse. Ozzy comes out, and he's in front of this big castle. Amazing, amazing fucking show. Just mind blowing.
Who
Two of
was
my favorite
on
artists right there.
guitar with Ozzy on that tour?
Jake. That was in the Bark of the Moon tour.
Ah, wow.
Yeah. So before we started, folks, I showed our humble narrator. I have that red BC Rich. After Jakey Lee came out, because that guitar actually has a tremolo system to it. I saw Jake, and I'm like, that's coming out. So I took the bar, threw it away. It had a locking system on the nut, take that out, throw that away. So it got a tremolo system, but I never use it, because I just learned that there are things you can do, like you're taking the fucking neck, pointing it this way, taking the body, pushing it this one, just just be creative.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jakey Lee absolutely murdered that audience that night. It was
Yeah.
fucking killer. Just I remember Ozzy, Jake was doing this long ass guitar solo, and Ozzy came up behind him and like grabbed his hair and started going like this. I'm like, dude, that's got to. But that
Yeah.
was part of the act. He would
Yeah.
slam him down. Um, yeah, it was the fucking raddest thing, man. This is heavy, so heavy.
That might have been the wildest tour Ozzy ever did.
Yeah,
Jake bragged recently that I played with Ozzy at his most inebriated or most messed up state. He goes,
yep,
if that's a brag at all, that's and I think Jakey Lee's playing. I've seen footage from that tour, and it's a clinic.
it is. I mean, can you imagine, being in like a local fucking? I mean, this was before Mickey Rat. Being in Mickey Rat in San Diego playing bars, all of a sudden getting the Aussie gig, and you're
Yeah,
what, 21, 22, 23. I mean, dude,
yeah,
I can't fucking imagine that. I mean, I
yeah.
shit,
And he
shit, and then
gets it with George Lynch,
yeah,
thinking he had the gig, but
yeah,
George didn't
yep,
have the right haircut, which happens, dude. I mean, you know how it was on
yeah,
the strip,
yep,
dude.
yep,
And
yep,
look, I will say this: the rock and roll thing, that's always been a part of it.
yep,
It's like I don't know if it is with kids now, but back in the day, it was like the minute you walk in, the audition starts because
oh
they're
yeah,
going,
absolutely,
okay, how's
absolutely,
his hair? Oh, his hair's not quite long enough, or they were literally looking for somebody to walk in and look like they could be on a poster because that's what
yeah,
rock and
oh,
roll
absolutely,
was.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm not really too hip on a lot of the like the modern bands, I guess. I mean, I know their names. I've heard a few songs like fuck, I literally could not tell you because I'm telling you, music is starting. We're basically right now where our era glam metal was in say 1990. All the bands look the same, all the bands sound the same because they're using, not really using the same producer, but they're using all the same the digital techniques. They're using basically if I were to go to my car, put it on the active rock radio, and they would play like Bad Omens, they would play whatever. If I didn't look at the screen, I literally could not tell you who it was.
Yeah.
Could not tell you because they all sound the same. They're using the same plugins. They're using basically all the same shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Same drum samples.
yeah, same drum sample, same guitar tone, same basically. You have the same vocal technique. You have the guy during the verse who's angry. You have the guy during the chorus who's really clean. It's
Yeah.
the same fucking shit.
Yeah.
And dude, I don't. It may be a year, it may be 5 years from now. It's going to be somewhere in between. We're going to see another major shift.
I hope
And
so.
yeah, I can't wait because again, it's saying it's happening. It's
I'd
happening.
like to see the return of two hormones to music. I would like to see testosterone come back,
Yep.
and I would like to see estrogen come back. I
Yep.
would like to see testosterone filled rock and roll. And on the
Yep.
other side, hey, go ahead and have your Lilith Fair and your acoustic guitars
Yep.
and do that whole thing over there. And everybody can have whatever flavor they want. But it just seemingly is now, maybe because people just stare at their phones or whatever it is, man, that there's
Yep.
just no, I keep waiting each day to when classic rock is going to get canceled. You think about the subject matter of these of songs,
Yeah.
and you can joke like a song like Big Bottom and Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
joke, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then of course Steel Panther has their kind of joke, kind of spoof of the whole 80s thing, but it was all about sex and
Yep.
sex appeal, and from the 50s on, starting with Elvis and Little Richard and all that stuff, and going through the Stones and the Beatles. I mean, the Beatles were a little more romantic in their approach in the early days, but it's just seemingly gone now. What do
Yeah.
you think about that?
My first reaction is when I think of like bands and musicians and sex appeal, the first the first musician that really had an impact on me was Gene Simmons. And again, he came with like, a demon type persona. Um, but when he stuck his tongue out,
It was
dude,
yeah.
I'm like, later on, of course, after I, maybe grew some fucking hair on my nuts, but I was like, that dude gets tons of chicks. Hey, man,
Well, and Jimi Hendrix used to always do the tongue thing. He'd point at somebody in the audience and, flick his tongue out. I used to tick off my girlfriends in LA because I saw Jimi Hendrix do it, and I'm going to do it too. And
yeah,
my girlfriend would go, I hate it when you do that. And I'd say, that's why I do it.
yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, yeah, and it's more of a thing that I do now. I don't even think about it. A lot of times when if I'm out in the clubs or whatever, and I see like a buddy of mine or whatever, hey, let's grab a picture or something like that. I'll be like, yeah, stick my tongue out of it. I
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah.
I don't even think about it. And again, it's because to me, I don't know, it's a Gene Simmons thing, and he just rubbed off on me, and I don't know. But yeah, it's like you know, bands would have auditions, and guys would walk, nope, didn't even hear him play, just
Yeah.
one step in, nope,
Yeah.
and it was fucking ruthless.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it is what it is, man. If you don't like it, there's always another band you can join or something. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
I don't know. 'Cause I definitely don't want to sound like fucking judgmental. I don't want to sound like a fucking like prick or an asshole. But um, yeah, it's just the way it was.
Yeah.
If a member just didn't have the look, yeah,
I mean,
good
and
luck.
even some bands that sort of made it, you'd kind of be as a fan, you'd kind of go, that lead singer's kind of weird looking, or he didn't quite
Yeah,
have the totally bitchin' hair,
yeah.
and then of course you had the guys visiting the hair system places
Oh
out in
yeah.
LA, and
So you do speaking of that, this is funny. Because I actually have something that I want to show you when we're done. But I do want you to record it because you'll get a kick out of it.
okay.
Anyways, do you remember it was called oh shit. Long Hair Rocks. Do you
Yeah,
remember that
I
company?
I went
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
Dude,
it's in Pasadena. Pasadena.
what was it really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a hair
I remember,
salon. It was a hair
yeah,
salon.
just going through because there what I call the Holy Trinity: Screamer, Rock City News, and BAM.
Yeah,
And they advertise in all three of
they
them.
would
So
advertise.
you like every fucking 5 pages. Yeah, long hair rocks. And yep, yep, got the message.
Yeah,
But yeah, just um, yeah, I was blessed. I didn't need that, but yeah, I always got a kick out of that. I mean, because yeah, I mean that was part of the fucking deal, and I can't imagine the fucking amount of money the clients that they had to come in, and I don't want to mention any names, but I can imagine the band members that were probably clients.
yeah, yeah,
I don't want to mention. I don't want to mention.
yeah.
I don't
I
want to
hear
do that
you.
shit.
I
But
mean, and
yeah,
there's guys out now, and that are out touring that were in that scene back in the day, and they're bandanaed up, and they've got these long, things coming
yeah,
down and stuff, and you just go, hey, if it's putting on a show,
yeah,
people want
yeah,
to see the image. They don't want to see somebody that looks like your passed out uncle on the couch,
yeah,
playing these songs. But
yeah,
it's a tough road to hoe when you've got to be that streetwalker every night, because ultimately the guys on the Sunset Strip, we were just being pimped out by the clubs. Put
yeah,
on your tight jeans, boys, and get out there and get those girls on stage. And
yeah.
so, it was a fascinating time, man. And it's just, I guess we were lucky to witness it.
We were extremely fucking lucky to be there. Um, I played a couple shows out there. Nothing notable. I did, however, play the Coconut Teaser.
Wow.
That was like 2000, yeah, 2000. That was fucking awesome. Then
Wow.
we played. This is my previous band. And then like 2 nights later, we played someplace up in the valley. I couldn't tell you where it was. I can't remember anything about either show, but I
Yeah.
do remember, as a kid, seeing the Coconut Teaser. I'm like, man, that's a fucking cool name.
Yeah.
Cool name for a club. And
Yeah.
later I would fucking play it. Um, but yeah, we were just so fucking like. I mean, it was a time. It was this much time
Yeah.
in this your life, and
Yeah.
this much, and we just
Short.
happened to be there. We just we got so fucking lucky um, to have been witnessed it, and we're doing extremely fucking well, man. I can
Yeah.
tell you. I mean, you look great. I mean, you look like you're doing well for
I'm
yourself.
alive.
Yeah, we survived, dude. We survived.
We
Um,
survived.
yeah, and that's
That's all you
dude.
can ask for, dude.
Yeah, and to me, I think when people use the term "Did you make it?" I'm releasing music on my own terms, and I've never written better songs than what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
That's why I'm 55 years old. That's why I'm still doing this,
Yeah.
is because I'm writing such good songs that I want people to hear it.
Yeah.
In 2014, I went on the Monsters of Rock cruise. Insane experience. Have you ever been on one of those?
I have not.
It is fucking insane. It's dude, you have to go one year. Regardless of who's on it, you have to go just to experience it. It's again mind blowing to be on a fucking boat for 5 days with 30 bands and 5,000 people just like you
Yeah.
that love these fucking bands, and they're just fucking it's basically old school. It's like
Yeah.
you have a good time and you fucking party your ass off sort of,
Yeah.
because we're older.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's such a good time. And I remember being on the cruise, and I'm like, I literally have nothing to promote. I've
Yeah.
been out of the music business for 10 years. Um, I play guitar, but I have nothing for people to listen to. And so when I moved back to Ohio in 2015, I'm like, I have a couple song ideas. Let me put some stuff together, send it out to just a couple people, just get feedback. And they're like, dude, this is fucking good. People need to hear this. I'm like, all right. So then I started Terrell DeVille with basically, a handful of songs and a fucking dream of having people listen to it. And a lot of people are really fucking digging it. And it's been extremely heartwarming to have people love it so much. And it means the world, because for 15 years I was out, dude. I was
Yeah.
burnt out. Um, I was done. And I sent a couple songs out, and they're like, dude, people need to fucking hear this. This is too fucking good not to do.
That's
So,
amazing. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a link to your music. I'm gonna have you email me a link to put in the description to where they can hear this or support your project. And we want you to keep rocking. We want
absolutely.
you to keep rocking like Dokken or maybe Motley Crue or
Motley
maybe
Crue, yeah.
and keep doing it, man. Keep the spirit of rock and roll alive. I want to thank you so much for doing this, and we'll have to do it again.
I have something for you. I want to show you, and I want you to record this. This is going to be part of the show.
All right, let's do
So
it.
a lot of the stuff from, like, Rip, or from BAM, Screamer, Rock City News, I kept, and I have this thick ass scrapbook that people have gone through. And it's in pieces now.
Wow.
Um, Ads and flyers from bands and stuff, and, like, just all sorts of, like, autographs from people that I've met, and just, all sorts of this cool stuff, guitar picks from fucking all these, from this guy on down.
Wow.
Um, but I found a couple things in my scrapbook, and um, our friend Dr. Starr said, "Hey, he needs to see this." So I'm like, absolutely. So are you ready for it? This is your life.
Okay, let's roll.
All right. So item number one, and I'm glad that I kept this.
Wow.
All right. So I'm going to. This is a full page ad, and I couldn't tell you what this is in.
Yeah, that's the original guitar player in Shock. That's Robbie. So
Okay.
I hadn't joined the band yet. He's got the sunglasses on. But yeah,
Okay.
there's Jamie and Greg and Roger. Yeah, and the Shock hotline 818-997-7290, dude.
Yeah. And I know,
I don't know whose phone number that it is. Don't call it.
and I know because um, with Larry and Althea in Bel Air, I had two other relatives live in the Valley, so I knew 818 is the Valley number.
Oh yeah.
So, and again, this is probably the same deal, but I kept it. So this is the real fucking deal. This is not some fucking
Screamer.
cutout. So this is Screamer, Guns N' Roses, August of '88. I was out there again, just doing my thing. And what do you know? Who got an interview?
Shock. Yeah, that's Robbie again. But wow, I didn't know they had that 2-page thing, and those photos that they did for that was, I think, Niels Lozauer took
Oh, no
those
shit.
photos. Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, that's Robbie. Robbie every now and then used to tune into the channel a little bit,
Okay.
and he's really a classical guitar player.
No shit.
Yeah, that's his forte.
Okay.
But yeah, man, that's those
I
guys.
got.
We tried to get the guys together to all do something, and it's like herding cats. So it's like we couldn't, as usual, you can't get the singer to show up, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I just turned, like, the first page after the credits or whatever, and this is the black. Yeah, this is what we were talking about.
Hot locks, yes. World famous hair design, yeah. Hair extension specialists. And see, and just a little, we're running out of time, but
Yep.
I remember when I auditioned for Shock, There
Okay.
was, and I didn't have like super long hair, but it was permed and probably maybe just a little bit shorter than it is now. And they walked in and somebody said, yeah, but his hair's not long enough. And the bass player who had really long, he was like really long hair. He goes, yeah, but it's healthy. It's healthy. It'll grow.
Yep.
So that was the
Yep.
thing that okay, well, we'll tolerate the fact that he's kind of at Kip Winger length right now, and we want it longer.
Yep.
But man, those were the days, man. Thank you for sharing those memories. Thank you for doing this interview, and we're like I said, we'll put a link where people can check out your music.
Kick
Dude,
ass.
dude, keep rocking.
Absolutely, I will do until I'm in a fucking pine box 6 feet under.
I
No,
hope
probably.
that
So I'll still be playing music even when I'm dead. So
I
yeah,
hope it's a Kiss coffin.
working on it.
All right.
I gotta start an OnlyFans or something like that.
There
Fucking
you go.
those things cost like fucking $50,000.
Oh, dude.
$50,000 for a kiss coffin. But if you're gonna go,
You can
go
make
in
your
style.
own, dude.
Yeah, go in style.
Yeah. Awesome, brother. Thank you so much.
No problem. Good
All
talking to you,
right.
man. This
Have a
is
good
this
one,
is
brother.
fucking. You
Thank
too.
you.